Hello everyone. In our last lecture, we have seen the formulation of our slope deflection equation, which will require for solving the numerical purpose. Okay, we'll see that what was our slope deflection equation. We have seen, suppose for a member, I am considering a simply supported member AB, and the final moment at your this joint A, that will be your MAB, while as final moment at this joint B, that will be equal to MB. So what our slope deflection equation says? Slope deflection equation. First I will write equation for your joint A. Okay, so MAB, that comes equal to fixed moment of joint A, that is MFAB, plus common terms we have taken from those 2EI upon L, into bracket we have got 2 times of theta A plus theta B minus 3 delta divided by L. Okay, and same way if you formulate equation for joint B, that is MBA, will get equal to fixed moment of that joint, that is joint B MFBA, plus again 2EI upon L, into bracket near end, now that will be theta B, but here you will get theta A plus 2 times of theta B minus 3 delta divided by L. Here we were having plus or minus sign over here, right? But here what I am doing, I am just considering initially the negative sign. So depending on sign conventions, this sign will vary, that is it will come sometimes positive or it will come sometimes negative over there. Okay, so what we'll do first, we will see sign conventions for this translational displacement rotation, right? That rotation we have got translational rotation. How much it was? That was equal to plus or minus 6EI delta divided by L square, whereas this delta was your vertical or horizontal displacement, due to which this translational rotation will be induced over there. Okay, so first we will see if your member is horizontal member. If your member is horizontal member, okay, so for horizontal member, depending on 4 sides, that is, suppose if I consider any horizontal member over here, okay, so either your deflection will be at this left end, or either your deflection will be at this right end, right? Or your deflection will be on the upper side of this member, or your deflection will be on this down side of this member. Suppose I am considering my case number 1, that is my right hand joint is deflecting by an amount delta. My right hand joint is deflecting by amount delta. So what will happen? This member, it will be bending in this way, which will cause the translational rotations at both the ends over there, right? That we have discussed. Okay, so those will be in this way, right? How we have to take nature of this? The direction from which your displacement pattern is seen, in the same direction you have to take this moment rotations over there. Okay, so that comes equal to 6EI delta divided by L square, and again this comes 6EI delta divided by L square. What you have to remember, that is this is nothing but moment over there. Suppose I am saying that as M. Okay, that M value is equal to 6EI delta upon L square. Now what our sign convention says, if this rotation comes in anti-clockwise manner, if this rotation comes in anti-clockwise manner, treat them as positive. Okay, so we'll see for second example, that is I'm considering one horizontal member over there. Only what I'm assuming now, my left end is deflecting by an amount delta. So what will happen? this member will be bending in this way or deflected in this way, due to which again translational rotations will be induced. Now what will happen? These rotations will be in clockwise nature. Of intensity m is equal to 6 ei delta upon L square, and this also 6 ei delta divided by L square. Thing is what? Now these are clockwise in nature, so what we'll do? We'll treat them as negative. I know you consider the signs, that is clockwise positive and anti-clockwise negative, that is for moment calculations over there. Only the thing is what? For consideration of translational rotations, you have to reverse the sign convention over there. Okay, other else everywhere you will keep the sign conventions same, that is clockwise positive and anti-clockwise negative. Okay, I'll consider the third example over here. Okay, suppose again horizontal member, but your deflection is on the left side, but it is on the upward part over there. Okay, so what will happen? Bending pattern will be in this way, and translational rotations, those induced, will be again clockwise in nature, minus 6 ei delta upon L square, and same minus 6 ei delta upon L square. Same way you can see for the deflection on the upward side, but towards the left end over there. Okay, this was for horizontal members over there. Now we'll see for vertical members. Here I am writing vertical members. Okay, I'll just take example of one upward deflection, one downward side deflection. Okay, so this will be my first example. Suppose this is a vertical member over there, and what is the thing here? This end is deflecting by an amount delta on the rightward side over there. Okay, so what will happen due to that? Your deflecting pattern that will come in this way, which will induce translational rotations of what? Clockwise in nature. Again, moment m, that will be minus 6 ei delta upon L square, and same minus 6 ei delta upon L square. Second example I'll take. Suppose here these rotations, those are coming in upward direction, delta here. Again translational rotations will be induced. Now these are anti-clockwise moment, so that will come plus 6 ei delta upon L square, and this will also come plus 6 ei delta upon L square. Right, so according to this sign conventions, you have to vary your sign in the slope deflection equations over there. Okay, so remember this sign convention, that is anti-clockwise will treat them as positive, and for clockwise will treat them as negative, just for this rotations due to translational displacement. Otherwise in every numerical we are going to consider our natural sign conventions, that is clockwise positive and anti-clockwise negative. So depending on these equations and our sign conventions, we'll start with our numericals of slope deflection equation. Okay, numericals. I'll take the first numerical for you. Okay, the numerical is analyze the given beam using slope deflection method and plot its bending moment diagram by superposition. I am drawing the given beam diagram that is given beam to you, it is A, B, C. It is a continuous beam of which span AB is loaded with UDL of intensity 10 kN per meter, and between span BC there is a point load of 12 kN acting at a distance of 4 meter from joint B and 2 meter from joint C. Okay, suppose this point I am calling it as D. The UDL span AB, that is completely your 4 meter. Joint A and C, those are your fixed, while at joint B you are seeing there is a roller support. So what you have to do, you have to analyze this beam using slope deflection method over there. Okay, now analysis means what? You have to calculate the bending moment amount at each end over there, that is at end A, at end B and at end C. Okay, and further what they are asking you, you have to plot the bending moment diagram by superposition over there. These diagrams we have seen in your SA1 over there. Okay, in fixed beam calculations, superposition diagram means what? Your span moment are superimposed on your support moments over there. That we'll see further while drawing the diagram, but just we have seen some part of this, that is your span moments are superimposed on your support moments. Okay, so I'll go for the solution over there. So in solution, that will be the first very step, as we have discussed in your previous video, that will be step number 1. What you have to do, you have to calculate the decay values over there. What you have to do, you have to calculate the decay values over there. What is our decay? Decay is nothing but degree of kinematic indeterminacy, which is related to what? It is related to non-zero joint displacements over there. Okay, so decay value will be seen at every support over there, that is at support A, support B and support C. Okay, so for support A, this is completely fixed over there. Support A is what? Specification for this, it is fixed on over there. So what our fixed support says, at your fixed support, your theta value and delta value, that is your translational rotation and your translational displacement, will be 0. That is fixed. Meaning of fixed is what? It is resistant, this joint A, it is resistance against rotation and it is also resistant for the amount of displacements over there. So at joint A, your decay value will come equal to 0. Okay, same way at joint C also. So as it is fixed, so here also that values will come again 0. That is value of theta C and delta C will be again 0. What about now joint B? At joint B, what you are saying, there is a roller support over there. So at roller support, what will happen? This will be restrained for your translational displacement, but it will allow the translational rotations over there. Okay, so decay value for your any simple support, whether it is hinge support or whether it is a roller support over there, your decay value will be always equal to 1, and which is that one value? That is equal to theta, and it is acting at point B, so I'll call it as theta B over there. We have seen a chart for this decay values over there. Okay, for different support conditions, whether when your support is fixed, when your support is hinge, when your support is roller. Okay, if your end is a free end, at that time how much will be your decay values that we have seen. So total decay value from this complete continuous beam, that comes equal to 1. Okay, and which is that value? That will be your basic unknown. So I'll write it here as unknown is equal to theta B, and initially what I'm doing, I'm assuming it acting in a clockwise direction over there. So what will be this? This will be a unknown value. Okay, and two values you are having, that is your known displacement or known rotations value. Which are those? That is theta A acting at point A and theta C acting at point B. Both values are equal to 0. Okay, so this will be our first step, that is you have to calculate the degree of kinematic indeterminacy that is coming in this continuous beam. It is coming equal to 1. Which are those? That is unknown displacement occurring at joint B, and known displacements occurring at joint A and occurring at joint C. Okay, I'm calling this as displacement, not as a rotations over there, because that will be simple to understand. Okay, then this will be our first step. Then we'll proceed to step number 2. Okay, In step number 2, what we have to do, we'll be calculating the fixed end moments over there. We will calculate the fixed end moments. For calculating fixed end moment, what you have to do, you have to assume all joints as your fixed one over there. So I'm drawing this as my continuous beam A, B and C, and what I'm doing, I'm making all the joints, that is joint A, B and C, as fixed one over there and keeping loading as it is. 10 kilonewton per meter, span of this is 4 meter, and here a load of 12 kilonewton is acting 4 meter apart from B and 2 meter apart from C over there. Okay, so at every end, that is at end A, B and C, you will be having fixed end moment over there. So one by one we'll see. First moment, that is fixed end moment at your first joint, that is AB. So fixed end moment at A, that will be your MF AB, equal to what is given for span AB. It is completely loaded with the UDL over there. So your fixed end moment, that comes equal to minus WL square divided by 12. How these values are coming, that we have seen table for that. Okay, in SA1 we have seen table. If if UDL is present throughout the span, your fixed end moment value comes equal to WL square by 12. And why I am taking here negative sign, because you have to consider here restoring moments over there. Restoring moment, how it will come, that is for this UDL, it will occur and moment of clockwise in nature over there along this joint A, but restoring moment will be how, that will be in anti-clockwise nature. Since it is anti-clockwise, we will consider as negative over there. Okay, so this value comes how much, W is given to, that is 10 multiplied by length of member AB, you are seeing for AB, so that will be equal to 4 square divided by 12. We will calculate this value, that is 10 into 4 square divided by 12. So that comes 13.33 minus 13.33. Since it is a moment, it will come in kilonewton meter. Okay, now same way we'll calculate for our next joint, that is MFBA. MFBA, that is for member BA from joint B. We have to see again what is there, it is loaded with UDL over there. So how much will be our fixed moment, again it will come WL square by 12, but here restoring moment, that will come clockwise in nature, so I'll treat it as positive, that is I'll get plus 10 into 4 square divided by 12. So I'll get same value, only positive in nature, that is 13.33 kilonewton meter. Next, now we'll move towards span BC. So next fixed end moment I'll be having, that will be our MBC. MBC is what? In member BC, what is happening now? Point load is there at non-uniform distance. So for non-uniform distance, fixed end moment, how much it is given by WAB square divided by L square. Whereas this 4 meter, that will be our A value, and this 2 meter, that will be our B value in this equation over there. Okay, so we'll substitute this value, W given to, that is 12 kilonewton, and this moment, that will be again restoring moment in anti-clockwise direction, so this will come negative. Okay, so minus 12 into A is your 4 into B is your 2, and 2 square divided by L. L is your complete length of member BC, that is 4 plus 2, that comes equal to 6. I'll calculate this value, 12 minus 12 into 4 into 2 square divided by 6 square. So that I am getting as 5.33. Okay, so these values come minus 5.33 kilonewton meter. Same way I'll calculate for next joint, that is joint C. Fixed moment there I'll get as MF. CB, that will come plus restoring moment will be clockwise in nature, so W A square B divided by L square. So this comes again plus 12 into A square, now 4 square multiplied by 2 divided by 6 square. What you have to remember, while interchanging this moment, that is from BC to CB, you need not to interchange this A and B over there, keep them as it is. Okay, so this value comes equal to 12 into 4 square into 2 divided by 6 square. So that comes equal to plus 10.67 kilonewton meter. So these are my fixed moments over there, that is at joint A, MFAB, at joint B for member BA, that is MFBA, at joint B for member BC, that is MFBC, and at joint C for member CB, that is MFCB over there. So this will be my step number 2 there. Okay. Now next we'll go for step number 3. Now in step number 3, what you have to do, you have to formulate your slope deflection equations. Okay, now slope deflection equation will be how much? How many other fixed moments, that much will be your slope deflection equation. So for first equation that I'll see for member AB, that equation will be MAB. Okay, so what is our basic slope deflection equation? MAB, it is equal to MFAB plus 2EI divided by L into bracket 2 theta A plus theta B minus 3 times of delta divided by L. Initially what we will do, we'll consider here negative sign over there. Okay, so we'll substitute the values over there. Now MFAB that we have calculated, it is equal to minus 13.33 plus 2 times of EI. Flexural rigidity is not given to, so we'll consider that as constant for throughout the member. 2EI divided by L. L is what? That is length of member AB. It is given to equal to 4 into bracket 2 times of theta A. Now theta is what? That we have seen. It is our basic known value, theta A, that we are getting 0. So this first value will come 0 plus theta B, that is our basic unknown which we have to find out. So theta B, and next is your delta. Now delta, that is what? If your some conditions are given in the member given in the problem over there, that is like sinking support condition, or your support is deflecting by this much amount, or it is getting deflected by positive or negative amount over there. So at that time only you have to consider this delta signs over there. Delta is what? That is the rotation due to translational displacement, but here no any translational displacement is given to in this complete numerical. So due to that translational displacement not given, this complete value will again become equal to 0. So what your equation comes? MAB, it is equal to minus 13.33 plus 2 by 4, that comes equal to 0.5 EI into theta B. I'll call it as this as equation number 1. Okay, that will be our equation for MAB. Next we'll move for second member, that is MBA. Now MBA basic equation, how you will get? MFBA plus 2EI divided by L into bracket theta A plus 2 times of theta B minus 3 delta divided by L. We'll substitute the values again here. MFBA value that I have got equal to 13 minus plus 13.33. So plus 13.33 plus 2EI divided by L of member BA, that is again 4 into bracket theta A, that is your basic known value, it is equal to 0 in bracket 2 times of theta B, and this will become 0 again, delta. So if you modify this, what I'll get? MBA is equal to plus 13.33 plus 2 by 4, that comes equal to 0.5 times of EI into 2 times of theta B. This I'll call it as equation number 2. You can further also modify this, that is 0.5 into 2, that becomes 1. So here what will remain? EI into just theta B will remain. Okay. Now next member, this was our first member AB, this was our second member B. Now next we will see for next member, that is M. Next member is our BC. So next member we will see MBC. Okay. What will come? MFBC plus 2EI upon L into bracket near end, that is your B, so 2 times of theta B plus theta C minus 3 delta divided by L. right? So this comes equal to how much again? Is equal to MFBC that we have calculated. I have got that as minus 5.33. So I'll get minus 5.33 plus 2EI divided by, now L is of member BC, so that is equal to 4 plus 2, that comes equal to 6, right? Into bracket 2 times of theta B, that is your basic unknown value, so it will remain as it is. Theta C value, that is coming equal to 0, and delta is also 0, so this will end over here. Okay, so MBC how much will get? Minus 5.33 plus 2 by 6, that I'll get as 0.33, right? 0.33 into 2, that I'll get as 0.66 EI into theta B. This will be my equation number 3. Okay, now one more member is remaining, that we'll see here on next page. Now fourth member, that is MCB. For MCB what will happen? MFCB plus 2EI upon L into bracket, what will get? Theta B plus 2 times of theta C minus 3 delta divided by L. We'll solve this. MFCB that we have calculated, we have got that equal to plus 10.67. So plus 10.67 plus 2EI, length of member CB is again 6, into bracket what will remain? Just theta B. Theta C is 0, delta is also 0. So what equation will get? MCB is equal to plus 10.67 plus 2 by 6, that I'll get as 0.33 EI into bracket theta B. This will be my equation number 4. Okay, so these are the equations that I have got as my slope deflection equation for every MAB equation number 1, MBA equation number 2, MBC equation number 3, and next is your MCB, that is equation number 4 over there. Okay, so what is here? In this equation only your basic unknown values will be seen. See here dk, that is your unknown only theta B. So in every equation only unknown should be highlighted, that is theta B, here also theta B, and here also theta B. Here known values that you have to substitute appropriately. Okay, so this will be a slope deflection equations over there, right? Then we'll move to next step, that is step number 4. Step number 4 is what? Conditions of equilibrium. Step number 4 is what? Conditions of equilibrium. Now conditions of equilibrium are what? These are the conditions which you can specify over there in your numerical. That is, at your joint A, can I say that moment occurring at this joint will be 0? No, because here it is a fixed support, so I cannot say. If there is a end that is having hinge or roller support over this joint A, then I can definitely say that moment coming at this joint A will be 0. Same way cases for C, because it is also fixed. So what are the equilibrium conditions? These conditions will be in how much number? Equal to your decay value. If your decay value comes equal to 1, you will be having one condition. If your decay value comes 2, you will be having two conditions of equilibrium over there. So condition of equilibrium at joint, can I say at joint A your moment will be 0? No, you cannot say. So your condition of equilibrium cannot be occur at point A. Same way it cannot occur also at point C. So which joint is remaining? Joint B. Now to keep this joint in equilibrium, right? To keep this joint in equilibrium, what are here two moments are occurring that we have seen. First is your MBA moment occurring at, here. First moment is occurring your MBA, and second moment you are occurring at joint B is MBC. So what are these two moments? Suppose I am marking those here. This moment, that is your MBA, and here your moment is MBC. So to keep this joint in completely equilibrium condition order, what must happen? Your summation of all these two moments shall be equal to 0. Or second condition is what? These two moments must have same value, but your acting nature must be opposite to each other. That is, if I solve this, what will happen? This MBC, if you take on the right hand side over there, what will get? MBA will be equal to minus of MBC. Okay, so either these two values must be same but acting nature shall be different, or summation of these two moments shall come equal to 0. So I can say that this will be my condition of equilibrium at this joint B. Okay, so in my step number 4, what I'll do, condition of equilibrium where it is occurring at support B, or you can say at joint B also. At support B, what is my condition? MBA plus MBC, that will be equal to 0. That is, for member B, MBA plus MBC, for member B and for member BC, both moments summation shall come equal to 0 over there. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll write the slope deflection equation for B over there, that we have seen. What is that? This equation number 2 over there, we have got that as plus 13.33, right, plus what I'm getting, this 0.5 into 2, that I'll directly write as 1 EI into theta B. This is my equation for B. Same way, equation for BC, that I'm having equation number 3, what I'm having, that plus, okay, minus 5.33 plus, here I'm having 0.66 EI into theta B, that is your equation for BC is equal to 0. Okay, so if you solve these two equations, what will get? Okay, we'll solve this equation first. Here, see, these are your constant terms, plus 13.33 and minus 5.33, that I can directly equate. Okay, so how much I'll get? See, 13.33 minus 5.33, so I'll get this as equal to 8. Okay, plus, now this theta B terms we'll see, EI into 1 EI into theta B and this 0.66 EI into theta B. What I'll do, from both of these terms I have to add this over there. So from both these terms I'll take EI into theta B common over there. So what will remain? See, here 1 plus here how much it will remain? 0.66, right, is equal to 0. So how much you will get this? Therefore 8 plus 1 plus 0.66, that I'll get 1.66 EI into theta B is equal to 0. So if you solve this, what I'll get? This 8, if I take this on right hand side, so that will become minus 8, right? So what will become? 1.66 EI into theta B is equal to minus 8. What I have to do? I have to calculate the basic unknown value, that is theta B. So how much this theta B will come? Minus 8 divided by 1.66 EI. We'll solve this. That is theta B is equal to, how much I get this? 8 divided by 1.66. So I'm getting this as 4.819 negative 1 divided by EI. Okay, so basic aim was what, I have to calculate the value of unknown over there. Unknown was my theta B. Now I am having that value, that is 4.819. So what you can say, that is, this is your now basic known value over there. Okay, now once this step is done, now you are free to calculate your final moments over there. So our next step, that is step number 5. What is that? Final support moments. You have to calculate the final support moments. Just how you have to calculate? What is this unknown, basic unknown value you have calculated, theta B minus 4.819. You have to substitute that value in this equation of slope deflection over there. That is equation number 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we'll see first one, that is MAB. Okay, so what is that equation? Minus 13.33 plus 0.5 EI minus 13.33 plus 0.5 EI into, here what you have to do, you have to substitute theta B value, so that comes equal to minus 4.819 divided by EI. Okay, so this EI value, that is flexural rigidity, will get cancelled over here. What will remain is equal to minus 13.33, okay, plus 0.5 into minus 4.819. So that value comes equal to minus 15.73 kilonewton meter. 739 it is, so I am writing 74 directly. That is my MAB value. Getting this? Then second one, MPa equation. Okay, MPa I am having that as 13.33 plus 0.5 times of EI into 2 times of theta b, that is minus 4.189 divided by EI. Again what will happen, this EI will get cancel over here. I'll get directly the value of MPa, that comes equal to 13.33 plus 0.5 into 2 into minus 4.819. So that comes my 8 plus 8 point, this is coming positive over there. Okay, so plus, I'm writing plus here, 8.511 kilonewton meter. Okay, then third value, that is MBC. Okay, MBC equation we are having minus 5.33 plus 0.66 EI into theta b, that is minus 4.819 divided by EI. EI will get cancelled again, so MBC I will calculate here, minus 5.33 plus 0.66 into minus 4.819. So that comes by minus 8.510 kilonewton meter. Okay, and last value, that is fourth one, MCB. Okay, MCB equation here itself we are having, that is plus 10.67 plus 0.33 times of EI into theta b. Theta b is my 4.819 divided by EI. Again EI will get cancelled, so that remains 10.67 plus 0.33 into minus 4.819, that is plus 9.079 kilonewton meter. That is the value of MCB. Okay, so these are my final moments which are acting at every end of them, that is in this beam. That is, I have got the bending moment at joint A, MAB, bending moment at joint B for BA, bending moment at joint B for BC, and bending moment at joint C, that is for CB over there, right? So now one more thing we'll see, that if you observe this equilibrium condition over there, what is that? MBA plus MBC shall be equal to 0. If you check these two moments, MBA and MBC, check whether that value is coming equal to 0 or not. We'll see. That is, MBA you are getting 8.511 positive, MBC you are getting 8.510. So I'll add those two values, that is 8.511 minus 8.510. So almost 1 into 10 raised to minus 3, that is 0.0001. I am getting this. That is almost this value is coming equal to 0. That means what? Our equation of condition of equilibrium is also getting satisfied completely here. Okay, so this you can apply as a check for your numerical. Okay, so our first part that is completed here. Which one? That is, you have to analyze this beam over there. Now second part is remaining, that is you have to calculate the, or you have to plot the BMD by superposition over there. Okay, so for plotting BMD by superposition, we have seen the concept over there. This is my A, B and C over there. For that I have given you the sign conventions. First, initially sign convention what? If here this is member AB, if negative moment comes, plot it on upward side. If positive moments come, plot it on downward side again, and opposite this condition, positive and negative over there. Okay, these are for support concepts. Okay, then adjoint A. Okay, we'll see moments over there. Adjoint A, how much moment you are getting? Minus 15.74. So minus it is, so it will be plotted on upward side, 15.74 over there. Same way. Now at B, so moment you are plotting, that is BA, MB you are getting 8.511. So positive it is, so it will go again on upward side. Right, now interchange the member. Now this will be your member B, joint B, and this will be your joint C over there. Right, so for joint P, check the moment for BC member. Minus 8.510, negative it is, so plot it on upward side. Already it is plotted. And CB, again it is coming positive, so plot it on upward side, that is 9.079. Just what you have to do, you have to join these moment values using a straight line over there. Right, these are your support moments. Now what you have to do, you have to superimpose span moment on this. So in span AB, what is given to you, that is UDL is acting completely. So maximum span moment in this member AB, that will be acting at the center over there. How much it will be? Maximum span moment if UDL is acting, that is equal to, for member AB we will see, that is equal to WL square divided by 8, and that is for BC, that is equal to WAB divided by L. Okay, so we will calculate this. WL square by 8, W is your 10 into L is your 4 square divided by 8, so I am getting that as 20. So this 20 will be maximum at the center over there. Okay, so that will follow parabolic path over here, and maximum at the center, that comes equal to 20. This value is equal to WL square divided by 8. Same way for BC, where will be your maximum moment acting? It will be acting where your point load is acting over there. Okay, so maximum moment is how much? That is equal to WAB divided by L. We'll calculate this. W is your 12 into A is your 4, B is your 2 divided by L. L is your 6. So that moment I am getting equal to 16. Okay, and where it will be maximum? At the point load position. So 16 higher than this value somewhat, and it will follow triangular path over there. Okay, this value comes equal to 16. It is equal to WAB divided by L. And what you have to do, just superimpose this shaded part over. Okay, this bending moment diagram, that will be called as a BMD by superposition. Getting? So this will be your complete analysis of your given beam using slope deflection method over there. Okay, I hope you have understand all the basic points in this, but first, to understand this numerical, you need to watch your video number 1 and video number 2 first. Okay, then and then only you'll get this numerical. We'll try to solve more and more numericals on this. Okay, depending on different support conditions and different member specifications also. Okay, I hope you have got it. Thank you so much.